So that was Perfect Way to Go by Ottoman.
That was definitely hard rock.
Yep.
Yeah, that's up in your face right away from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of like, I feel like not quite the way that like hard rock sounds in the modern age.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
what most hard rock sounds like. I feel like this is very much like a kind of like early 2000s, late 90s sort of sound.
It's like, to me, it's edging on grunge, but not quite there.
Exactly. It's kind of like that, like the sort of stoner rock type of thing that started happening in the 90s.
It's a little too polished to be grunge.
Into the 2000s. Yeah, exactly. But it's not polished enough to be like modern rock, because modern rock is like really slick. Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of like rock stations wouldn't play something like that. Like they might if it got popular, but I feel like they wouldn't just pick it up and then just start playing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's interesting to see like the development of like rock as a genre, because it's so broad, and the way that like those types of sounds change.
Well, and how we were just saying, like, I think, jazz musicians would consider jazz a really wide term. I'm sure rock musicians would consider rock a very broad term. But most people, they hear, some distorted guitars and some loud drums, are like, yeah, that's rock. It's like, well, okay, well, there's a couple more, specific factors in there, but.
Yeah, I mean, you've got subgenres on subgenres on subgenres to the point where
Plus
it's just like a
too.
Farce at some point, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like early 2000s, late 90s. It's like I know what that sounds like in my head when you say that era, versus like 70s rock is like it's like, more like, I'm thinking more like hair metal or like Bon Jovi or like, like that's a totally different kind of rock, but still rock.
Exactly.
So,
I'm trying to think of the song, like the band that this is really reminding me of, but it's escaping me right now. I'll probably come up with it later.
To me, it sounded kind of like, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna cheat. What's the name of that song? Dead Man's River.
Oh, Corrosion of Conformity is what I was thinking of.
Oh,
like
Damn
the song
That River
Albatross.
Is the song I was thinking of. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Albatross. Is that what you said?
Yeah, by Corrosion of Conformity. That's kind of like the type of vibe that I get a little bit off the top of my head.
This gave me, and this might sound crazy, but this gave me like a pretty strong Alice in Chains kind of vibe.
No,
but like a little
I can
less
see that
heavy
too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not quite as distorted, but a similar vibe. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not like the kind of music I listen to a lot, but I mean, I always appreciate it because it's, just whatever. It's fun to listen to and fun to drive home from work if you're pissed off at the world or something.
Exactly.
Play some video games.
Or it'll hype you up at the gym or something.
Right. Yep. Cool. Me next then, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm going to play... I'm actually deciding right now which of these tunes I'm going to play. I'm going to play a tune by a group called Artemis, which just...
Okay.
They were kind of formed a couple of years ago and played at like the Newport Jazz Festival. But it is an all-female jazz band, and they play and write music about all sorts of things. But a lot of the times it's female based in terms of the composition or the music tells a story of like being a woman. So Artemis, the name of the band is taken from the Greek goddess Artemis, who is the goddess of exploration, torch-bearing. She's a protector of young children, and then also known as the goddess of the hunt.
Okay. So
one of the tracks on the album is called Goddess of the Hunt. It's pretty hip. I recommend it, but it's pretty long, so I'm not going to play that.
Okay. Is that off of a 2020 album?
Yep, just came out. Yeah, a
released?
couple weeks ago, or maybe days ago. I think a couple weeks ago. 2020 release of Artemis self-titled album. And so I'm gonna play. It's an old, I think, Lee Morgan tune. Well, let me get this right. Yeah, Lee Morgan tune, Sidewinder, which is a pretty classic. hold on. I just started the totally wrong thing in my own browser. It's a pretty classic tune, Lee Morgan tune, but they did kind of a unique arrangement of it.